How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to show you all how to complete one of the stage 2 team affinities entirely. I'm going to be starting off by completing the Padres team affinity for Taylor Trammell. He's a 94 overall left fielder. I'll show his stats in a second here. I'm going to be completing a variety of both exchanges and the showdown for the National League. So if you watch my previous video revealing the last 8 cards for these Future Star Diamonds, then you would have seen the fact that Showdown is split up into the American League and the National League. So you get a random Future Star card to go up against in the final showdown. And for the National League, the final showdown is on Veteran. I would assume that the American League showdown is also on Veteran for that final showdown mission. And that is very important because it is a lot easier to complete this than it is in stage 1, because those showdowns are on all-star difficulty, and initially the AL West showdown was on Veteran. If you go back to my previous videos from about a month and a half ago, I did upload a showdown video with the AL West on Veteran, and I was able to complete it by simply just starting from the beginning, skipping all the way to the end, and that is going to save you a ton of time, a ton of stubs, to where you don't have to do these exchanges. But I wanted to show it as an example. So these stats right here, these attributes on Taylor Trammell are very good. I'm going to plug this card in over Mike Trout in left field initially. I need another lefty bat in my lineup. I already have a couple in there, and I really like hitting lefty-lefty in this game as well. So I'm going to use this card because he has great contact and power versus right with a little bit more vision. So anyway, I wanted to start off by getting this card first, and I am going to try to complete a few of these today and a few of them over the weekend. I'm also working on a few changes with my online classes that I'm teaching, so I'll be doing that at the same time as completing this showdown. I'll be working on some online classes. I'll pause it every now and then, or take a couple pitches and work on something and take a break. In between, I might take a 10-minute break or so, work on some things. It could be a little bit longer, so that's the reason why I'm not streaming this. But I wanted to talk about how to complete this super quick, and it's very easy in order to do so. So I'm going to go through this draft. You have a draft of all National League players, so this is pretty cool. You will be able to choose some of these Future Star cards to play with, probably through Diamond rounds, if you're able to complete each and every stage through Showdown. I am going to be completing a few missions in this video and then skipping all the way to the end with about 4 runs accumulated for that final showdown mission. I'll have to score another 12 runs or so to make it 16 to 15. You start down by 15 runs initially, and you have 20 outs in a row to score 16 runs to win. So with that being said, if you notice in that previous screenshot, I have the Dodgers logo down there in the bottom left. I think that means I'm going to go up against Brusdar Graterol, Future Star pitcher, for that final showdown. So I'm going to try to get as many left-handed bats as I can play people out of position for that final showdown. I'm trying to include as many possible tips and tricks on how to complete this as quickly as possible. You'll be able to get a very good team of all Future Stars cards. If that's what you want, you'll be able to get them very quickly. This mission was strike 3 batters out. The previous mission was drive in 2 runs, and they started you off with 2 guys on base already, and your third hitter up at the plate, so keep that in mind as well. This one you had to walk it off. I didn't score a run in the bottom of the 9th. I scored 2 in the bottom of the 10th to walk it off against the computer. I just swung at some bad pitches, and I was able to complete the mission. But now that I'm at 4 runs, I'm going to go ahead and skip both of these next showdowns. The showdown versus Plesac, I'm not sure what the next showdown will be because I don't have it revealed yet. It's hidden until you reach that moment. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure the perks are applied, make sure my squad is good for this final showdown, and just skip all the way to the end and go ahead and try to complete this for that Taylor Trammell. I mean, I will have to complete one more exchange. I'm doing it with the combination. So for the most part, I like to do 2 showdowns and 1 exchange to save me some time and save me that kind of in between where you're at, 40 exchange points after 2 showdowns. You would complete 1 more, and you would have to use those vouchers towards a different one. Now that's also an option too. If you want to complete 3 showdowns at a time, then you'll be able to unlock the Team Affinity card at 120 stars, as well as some packs, some Ballin' as a Habit packs, and some XP, some stubs along the way. So there's a great way to build your team, no money spent in this game, and it's simply grinding these showdowns March to October, but this is definitely the fastest way to do so. So as you can see here, I'm facing Brusdar Graterol in the final showdown mission. It is on veteran difficulty. The PCI size is pretty large. I mean, I'm using the inner PCI, so it's determined by contact and vision attribute, and that goes for all difficulties. Depending on the difficulty, it will be a little bit larger. At sometimes it will be a little bit smaller. It also depends on the pitcher's confidence, which is another good tip in this gameplay. If you are able to get the pitcher's confidence down in this showdown, he becomes much easier to hit. And you do so by scoring a few runs early on without recording too many outs in a row. If you start off on a bad streak and you start recording, 10 outs in a row without getting a base runner, then that pitcher's confidence is going to be 3/4 of the way filled up. It might be all the way maxed out, and he might have the gold bar of confidence, as I like to call it, with that pitching feedback, whether you're using meter, whether you're using analog, and I guess pulse wouldn't make a difference with that. But anyway, I like to talk about that gold bar of confidence because it does help your pitcher significantly in this game, whether you're going up against a computer or a real live person online. So anyway, with that being said, we're down 2 runs here. We need to not only tie it, but we need to take the lead in order to complete this mission. If you tie it up and you get your last out, then it fails you regardless. You have to take the lead. Luckily, this ball got down. Cody Bellinger has a great arm out there. My base runners are getting messed up on the base pass. There is a steal glitch that you can do in this in Showdown. I don't normally do it, though. I just try and hit. I just try and practice hitting at the plate. I know this is a lower difficulty, but I try to practice with my PCI, trying to move it and be precise with those movements. Depending on the difficulty as well, it's more sensitive when you go to Hall of Fame and Legend. So that is something to keep in mind as well. But as you can see here, I've completed that showdown. It did not take me long at all. I'd say about 25 minutes. And I previously uploaded video about an hour ago. So with that being said, I uploaded that. I was waiting for it to render. I was kind of going in, doing those exchanges, working on some online classes. And then, of course, I finished up that showdown, got the vouchers, and now I'm going to unlock that Taylor Trammell after completing one more exchange. I'm going to go ahead and do so right now in this next clip right here. We back out, we go into Team Affinity, and the Padres, I already have stage 1 complete. I have 20 out of 50 fans for the next one, or 20 out of 50 program points for the next stage, and I'm locking in these vouchers. So I will have 40. I'll complete one more exchange, which some of these gold cards and silver cards have significantly gone up in price. I was looking at the market. I had to purchase a couple of them on my own. But you also have to keep in mind that you are going to get Team Affinity cards and Ballin' as a Habit packs in return. So you are going to get gold cards, and you have a good chance to get golds and diamonds out of those Team Affinity packs because you're getting so many in a large volume if you're able to complete a lot of these programs. So with that being said, you will be able to make a lot of stubs back with this showdown method, as well as a lot of great endgame cards. Well, cards that might not necessarily be endgame, but you'll be able to use them for a while. And if you decide to take a break from the game, get these cards, take a break, come back during the end game, they will still be at least viable. You'll still be able to have some success with these cards. I mean, 94 overalls, 95 overall cards, some 93s in there. I know there are some 90s mixed in this as well. But for the most part, I mean, we saw Signature Series cards at that level last year, and some of them were still used even end game, and people were able to build budget teams that way. So here we go. We're going to wrap this up with the pack opening, as well as take a look at that last player's card attributes. I wanted to go over them one more time. I think he's going to be very good. I'll probably put him in the leadoff spot because he does have that 94 speed. I'll probably end up plugging him in there, but it's gonna allow me to have some versatility in my lineup as well as my defensive lineup. These Team Affinity cards have a lot of secondary positions. There's Chris Bryant. That's a solid 5K pull. That's like a diamond right now. Anyway, that's a solid pull. But yeah, for the most part, I would say that these Future Star cards have a lot of secondary positions. Most of them have a good amount of speed and a good amount of fielding. They have pretty good thresholds for their attributes and stuff like that. So it allows a lot of versatility. It's also a great way to combine minor league players, major league players, and legends into Diamond Dynasty. A great way to kind of use a lot of the different players that they were able to get the rights to their names via the minor leaguers and using those types of rosters. I think that that's great that they're releasing these Future Star cards. I have seen some things, some negative feedback about how high overall these players are compared to live series, and they're just designed a little bit differently, that's all. So we do end up pulling a couple gold cards. We did not get a diamond out of the Ballin' as a Habit pack. But this Taylor Trammell, I'll move my face cam to the top right so you can take a look at all of his attributes. This card is absolutely great. I can't wait to try him out. The one thing about him is he has a little bit lower arm strength, but that's all good. And this is also the same type of clip. So that person that pulled a diamond in the top left didn't pull that thing twice. It was just the cloned clip, so we could take one more look at the attributes. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I'm College Lefty. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.